Let's start with our release. Chris?
Wait, she's getting to the camera.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living. It's our very first Sunday morning. We have a skeleton crew here this morning as we're getting ready to welcome you back. You'll be getting a video from me sometime in the next week or two with what the experience is going to be like. Mike is not on. Okay.
There
Oh,
it is.
look. It's actually coming through my phone. I have to... You're actually coming through my phone. Let me turn the volume down. Okay. Marina, scan around the room so everybody can see who's here. We have just leadership here this morning. We have practitioners. We have board members. We have office staff. We have AV staff. And Chris is here. So we're getting ready. And it's a good thing that we had this rehearsal this morning because we found glitches. And glitches found us. Let's do our release. Here we go. There was a time in my life when I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient, didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged or struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you've got to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. And here's what I know. I know that there's one life, and that life is divine. And that life is the essence of creative intelligence and wisdom and love and kindness, inclusivity. I know that right now, today, each of us is in our exact right place, whether we're at home watching, whether we are part of the skeleton crew putting on this service here today. No matter what we are doing, God is expressing itself fully and lovingly and kindly through us. And so I know that all is well. I bless our time together. I bless our message for today. I bless our music. And I simply know that as a spiritual family, we are here for each other in a way that exudes divine love, kindness, and intelligence. And knowing that this is the truth of who we are, I release my word into the action of that loving and mechanically accurate law of cause and effect, the law of universal mind. I let it do its work on behalf of all of us. And as I release it, I let it be and I let it go. Together we affirm this truth by saying, and so it is. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. That felt really good, even though I'm the only one who can sing, because we're not supposed to be singing. But you may notice, if you're watching, that I am not wearing a mask while I am on the pulpit. And I'm greater than 6 feet from anybody. And Chris does have he doesn't have it on at this moment because he was singing. But
I was singing.
when we do get back together, we're not gonna, unfortunately, have any physical contact with each other. We will namaste, bow to each other in respect for those of us who may have been exposed unknowingly, and who are healthy and don't have any symptoms. And so let's go ahead and do our promises. Dr. Holmes's promises. We're going to have to actually create a new program when we do have programs back, because on the community affirmation, I did add a stanza, as you guys know. But let's go ahead and read our promises together for the day. Here we go. I keep the promise that I have made myself to affirm in this moment that I am abundant, healthy, strong, and happy. I keep the intention to daily speak this truth to my inner soul, telling it that it is wonderful and marvelous, that it is one with the great cause of life, truth, power, and action. I whisper these things into my soul until it breaks forth into songs of joy with the realization of its limitless possibilities. I assure my soul. Well, let's go ahead and assure our soul. By the way, I am looking at my phone because I've gotten so used to, Elizabeth says, turn the volume up. Elizabeth says, Marina says, Susie Clark, Marina, your scan is too fast. Ellie, the sound isn't coming through. So just so you guys know, we're still in communication with the crew. And I have been, yes, it's our first day, and I have been, reacting in real time to the crew. Is my guitar not?
I hear it. There it goes. Ooh, now I really hear it.
Now I got it. Let's turn that down, yeah. Good. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. He's pure spirit. Okay, here we go. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. He's pure spirit. We are life. We are life, we are light, we are love, we are joy, we are peace, we are wisdom, and beautiful harmony. We are pure spirit. Okay, one more time from the top. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. He's pure spirit. Yes, who we are. Yes, who we are. He's pure spirit. One last time. Yes, who we are. He's pure spirit. Gosh, I love the people who are here, but it's such an empty room. And I have to acknowledge that really missing all of the regulars here. Let's see who else is on here. Charles Smith says, better scan speed that time, but still a little jerky. Seems to be at 15 frames per second instead of 30. Noticeably much more on scans. This computer might be broadcasting today at a higher resolution than I've been broadcasting from home. And if it is, we'll fix that. But like I said, all of you guys at home, Charles and Christy and Susie, you're all the beta testers for our new hybrid improved service where we're actually talking to each other in real time. Let's go ahead and do our community affirmation. Here it is. I believe in one power, one living spirit, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. I believe that spirit expresses through me and is the unity of all life. I believe that the kingdom of heaven is within and that we experience this kingdom to the degree that we become conscious of it. I believe that all thought is creative and that how I choose to think creates my personal experience. I believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. Please be seated. So, It is Pride Month, and it is actually Pride Sunday today, and I want to remind everybody that Centers for Spiritual Living is an open and affirming community, and this is our new declaration. High Desert Center for Spiritual Living is a radically inclusive and mindfully non-racist spiritual community. All are lovingly welcomed here. And you know, it's funny because I originally, you know that I've been doing an awful lot of calls and prayers and counseling for a lot of our members who have been experiencing some levels of either the exposure to the ideas around systematic racism or the exposure to members of their families and friends who are expressing some white rightness. You know, and I'm kind of like in the camp with Kevin Bacon, who said old white guys like me should just shut up and listen unless what you're saying is specifically non-racist. So this is what I came up with. I originally had said it's not enough to not be racist. We have to be anti-racist. And someone said, well, why are you using the word anti? Because that's against something. And it's true that I haven't, in my spiritual journey, I have not evolved enough where I'm not against racists. I do still have that knee-jerk reaction, but I prayed on it, and this is what I came up with. High Desert Center for Spiritual Living is a radically inclusive and mindfully non-racist spiritual community. All are lovingly welcomed here. And this we're going to say at every service moving forward. So, you know, I want us to take 2 minutes now to just listen to Karen Drucker's Ho'oponopono prayer meditation. So I invite everybody to just take a breath right where you are, at home or here in the sanctuary. And let's go ahead and play that, Fred. Do I need to do it from up here? Hang on, let me do it. Oops, let's go back to it. Oop. There it is.
I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, mahalo, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, mahalo, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, so sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I love you.
This song, this idea of the Ho'oponopono prayer, which is a prayer of forgiveness and reconciliation, is not about each of us personally apologizing for anything that we've done. As I said last week, you know, the collective consciousness is unconscious. But each of us can, and I believe should, and you know I don't use the word should a lot, but each of us can and should be a part of the solution in whatever way that we can.
God is in here, God is out there, God can be found everywhere. God is to give and to receive. Open your heart and believe. God is in me, God is in you, God is in all that we see and do. God is divine, God will reveal. God is in all that we see and feel. Love is in here, love is out there. Love can be found everywhere. Love is to give and to receive. Open your heart and believe. Find yourself all around. Let your heart hear the sound of love. Love is in me, love is in you, love is in all that we see and do. Love is divine, love will reveal. Love is in all that we say and feel. God is in here, God is out there. God can be found everywhere. God is to give and to receive. Open your heart and believe. God is in me, God is in you, God is in me and you.
For a guy that just walked in here one Sunday morning just to sub on piano, that's pretty amazing. I think the snare on this drum is loose, and I don't know where the button for that is, so I'm not going to worry about it. I don't really have any announcements. There's nothing to announce other than today's the 21st. It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all of you fathers. I got an amazing card from my kids this morning that just made me cry. I was just astounded by what they wrote. And I can't wait to get home and celebrate Father's Day with them. Next Sunday, we will once again do service like this, just with leadership, practicing our social distancing, making sure that we understand all the ins and outs of what it takes to Barb Deveris, good morning, HDL. Good to see Reverend Doug and Chris live at the center. Yay. Jones says, Happy Father's Day. Charles says, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. It's immediacy. You know, I'm still with the texting and everything. So I don't have anything to announce yet because we're not really in, what is it? Oh, well, we already talked about all this stuff, but our skylights are astoundingly clean, amazing. The roses are in bloom. Doesn't it just feel amazing to be in this room, all of us who are here? We miss you, and we can't wait to have you back when we can do it safely. And so we're watching all the details of what that means. And so we're going to do a non-touching version of let's go to hugs and handshakes. Look what it says. Virtual hugs and handshakes. Please observe social distancing, no physical contact.
So you go like,
What?
you shake in the air.
I know. It's like namaste, elbow bump. But anyway, let's still do this. So 1, 2,
What's this?
3, bam. Am I in the right key?
What key are we? What are we playing?
B flat?
B
flat.
Hugs and handshakes. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
You can get up and say hi to each other. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light.
Everybody we meet, let us be reminded of who we've fought to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey,
yeah. Hey, hey, hey.
yeah, yeah.
Everybody,
Get up on your feet, see the light. Everybody you meet, everybody get up on your feet, see the light. And everybody you meet, let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah,
hey,
yeah, yeah.
Close enough. All right, Marina is practitioner today, and she's going to come up here and do the flames of faith, and Judy's going to actually light the candles for the first time in 3 months, and I'm going to put my mask back on since they're coming up to the pulpit. Aaron?
Hi, everybody.
That little thing is right on the floor. See that little, this thing on the floor?
Oh, did I knock it off?
It's a wind.
I think it was off before whatever.
You didn't knock it off. Doug knocked it off. Accidentally.
It's clean now. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Join with me. I'm going to share this morning's affirmation. That's not it. We perform this ceremony on Sunday to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. The unity candle represents the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the first candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the second candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the third candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the 6th candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the 7th candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the 8th candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the 9th candle, honoring all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principle. And we light the 10th candle for inclusivity, affirming that all are welcome here. And as Judy lights the healing candle, please silently put into light the name of loved ones, knowing that they have this experience of Spirit's eternal love. Thank you. I invite you all to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that and focus inside. God is all there is. God is, and I am. This, my life, is sweet, playful, funny, and warm, and this life is God. I am one with the creative impulse of the universe. I am unified with the great evolutionary urge of spirit. I am love, and love is me. What I declare right here, right now, I declare for everyone listening. Here I am in the first day of summer. I embrace the bright solar light that cuts, reveals, and nourishes. I embrace the clarity of summer. Searing heat and closer brightness amplifies my unshakable unity with Source, with light, with the simplicity of knowing that I am one with God. Every day, I watch bunnies and baby quails, woodpeckers and bugs. The cycle of life, as I know it, swirls around and inspires me. Nature encourages, and I keep moving. I continue to breathe and love, grounded in the joy of my oneness with nature, with COVID, with many things I do not understand. For I am one with God, and God is all there is. As for the hummingbird, the light of summer illuminates, and I get to choose what I embrace, land on, and feed from. I am incredibly healthy, and I choose to live a life of balance and wholeness. Peace is the foundation of my life. I am peace, and peace is me. I am peace, and peace is me. Life is good, and I am grateful for this community, for the world at large, this life of love and service. Gratitude floods my life and all of my experiences. And I release my word into the law of action, knowing that as I do so, it is done. And please join me in saying, and so it is. My bleach wet.
Okay. Oh, well, so I'm gonna do this a little bit differently this week. I normally sing or have the music and then talk about it, but I want to talk about it just a little bit first of all this morning, because this song that I'm going to sing for you this morning is called Pray for America, and it was created only within the last week or two, specifically for this program, Morning Edition. They have this new song project, and the first person that they asked to do a song for them is this guy, Ketch Secor, and Ketch is the founder and lead singer of a band called Old Crow Medicine Show, which is a really cool string band. Is this...
No.
Not coming through again? Guitar, oh, because it's muted, that's why.
That helps.
That helps. So, there it is. So, I had told Chris, so just so you guys know kind of what's going to happen, for the next couple of months, both for financial reasons and because of COVID-19, Gary is not going to play drums. He's actually involved in a Bible study right now that he's really enjoying on Sundays through the summer. And then Chris and David are going to alternate being musician, and I'll help out for the next couple of months. And that's so we can get it back on our budgeted, music budget after the pandemic, but also so that we can have space between us all on the pulpit. And so this week I had asked Chris if he was going to sing, and he said yes, but we didn't pick a song. And then on Thursday morning I was out walking Xander, and I heard this story on NPR, and I heard this song, and it just touched me so deeply, the story that he's telling. So I'm going to sing the song, and then I'll talk about it afterwards. So here we go. When the sorrows are befalling and the shadows darken her door, when the fever spreads like a silent scourge which outshines her golden shores, when a cry for comfort reaches forth like you never heard before, pray for America, our promised land. America, to thee may God's hands outreach. Lord, have mercy on America. When the tears just keep on falling and the glory light's gone dim, and the barren ground is full of holes we hasten to fill in. When the firmest faith is shaken fast by a fear that's creeping in, pray for America, our promised land. America, to thee may God's hand outreach. Lord, have mercy on America. When the peaceful hour is broken by the pounding tumult quake, and all is torn asunder, what we thought could never break. When all the saints come marching in through hell for heaven's sake, pray for America, our promised land. America, to thee may God's hands outreach. Lord, have mercy on America. Oh, pray for America. God, shed your grace on thee. Thank you. So, I was so moved not only by the song, but by the entire story that went along with the song, because when they asked Ketch to write this song, it was before a month ago. He wrote it 2 weeks ago, but it was before a month ago, and the events that sparked all of the unrest and the protest about policing and everything had yet to pass, but he said, this is Old Crow Medicine Show, by the way, but he said, what I really wanted to do was write a song that felt like God Bless America, but I also wanted to have a little bit of this land is your land, too. He wanted to have that kind of folkiness about it, and I think he really accomplished that. And what's amazing is, and NPR recognizes that in times of upheaval like this, music can be an escape, it can be a lesson, it can be a meditation, a way to reflect, and try to make some sense of things too. And I think he's really being successful at this. The song works on a bunch of different levels, and the lyrics that I love, the first verse, when the sorrows are befalling and the shadows darken her door, when the fever spreads and a silent scourge outshines her golden shores, when cry, that came out wrong. When a cry for comfort reaches forth like you've never heard before, pray for America, our promised land. And then he says, America, to thee may God's hands outreach. Lord, have mercy on America. Oh, pray for America. God, shed your grace on thee. He lives in Nashville. He actually lives in Franklin. And Franklin, Tennessee is a city about 12 miles south of Nashville. And there's a highway in Franklin called Franklin Pike Highway. And I've driven it many times. And on Franklin Pike Highway is like America's largest concentration of gigachurches, like with 1,000-car parking lots. So much so that the Tennessee State Patrol actually directs traffic on Sunday mornings because it's like 100,000 cars on Franklin Pike Highway on Sunday mornings. And he says, you see these signs, pray for America, pray for America, pray for America. But he had the feeling that so many of those signs were pray for America because something's wrong with America. And that's not what he wanted to write. He wanted to write, pray for America because there's a lot that's right with America. And he was originally writing about COVID-19 and the pandemic and wanting us to all weather this storm in a way that we could do it with love and with kindness and with honor. He has one of the few bands in Nashville that has, their drummer, is he in this picture? He's not in this picture, but the drummer's black. He's one of the very few black session musicians in the Nashville area. So our global vision for this whole month, has been mindfulness for mavericks. And we certainly, at HDCSL, we certainly fit into the maverick picture. We are not your run-of-the-mill mindfulness junkies. We are mavericks as religious scientists and metaphysicians. And this week, our topic is mindful communication and reminding ourselves that what we say matters. We create through our language. And this song really spoke to me because he chose very specific language, as he said, both to kind of honor God bless America and also honor this land is your land and that kind of folky tradition of music that in America that can really touch the soul in that way. And I really believe that we create through our language. And as a peoplehood, we've believed this for a long time too. Going all the way back to the Bible, both in Genesis and in the Old Testament and in the New Testament. John, which says the same thing as Genesis, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. If that is not a description of what we understand to be the truth about the metaphysical nature of the universe, then I don't know what is. That is kind of the fundamental bricks of the wall of primitive Christianity and Judaism when we say, I and the Father are one. It is the Father within that doeth the work. And, it is done unto us as we believe. And Jesus also saying, greater things than this wilt thou do when you understand this teaching, because he very clearly was not saying he was the only one who could do this. Dr. Maya Angelou, who I love very much, the late Dr. Maya Angelou, she understood the power of these words too. I'm going to play a little clip of hers. Let's get her up here. Yes.
Words are things, I'm convinced. You must be careful about the words you use, or the words you allow to be used in your house. In the Old Testament, we are told in Genesis that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. That's in Genesis. Words are things. You must be careful. Careful about calling people out of their names, using racial pejoratives and sexual pejoratives and all that ignorance. Don't do that. Someday we'll be able to measure the power of words. I think they are things. I think they get on the walls. They get in your wallpaper. They get in your rugs, in your upholstery, in your clothes, and finally into you.
I love, when you get to be older and wiser and you're one of our poet laureates and you can say to people, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm not going to say that, but I'm going to let her say that. Don't do that. All of this was breathed into life through divine intention, the Word, the evolutionary impulse of the universe manifested as the Word of God. And, of course, we similarly create through our language. The words that we use have power because we individualize this power of the universe. Whether our word is the spoken word or a text message or an email, sign language, or any ways that words are used by us, words are more powerful when they're mindful. Dr. Holmes said, trained thought is far more powerful than untrained thought, and that's clearly the truth. We can go through our life creating mindlessly, but when we create mindfully with our intention, everything okay back there? Okay, good. The idea that mindful speech is a pathway to a spiritual life is really not a new idea. It's not something that Dr. Holmes came up with. In fact, the Buddha's eightfold path of the Buddha, number 3 right there is right speech, right view, right intention, right speech. Number 3 on the list of the 8 most important things towards a spiritual life. It's before right action, before right livelihood, before effort, before concentration, before mindfulness even, right speech. I think the Buddha placed it 3rd overall because he recognized the power that our words have to change our paradigm. We usually talk about Paula going to the dentist. Marina texted me this week that she had a doctor's appointment, and she usually didn't like this particular procedure, but she treated beforehand, and it was easy and effortless. And we all have this power. This is not a magic pill. This is not Dr. Holmes said, medicine and a prayer, a pill and a prayer. But the point of the matter is the prayer, our affirmative prayer where we change our thinking by our decision to change our thinking is so powerful. And to change our thinking about things that are happening in our lives is the entire purpose of studying this metaphysical science and philosophy. I think the Buddha recognized that words have the power to build, the power to break down, the power to harm, the power to heal. And I know that we have so many avenues for communication. It's a world now where anonymous comments and quick-fire responses are more and more the norm. Using our words mindfully seems to be an excellent skill to develop. I don't know about you, but have you ever sent a text or an email that you didn't mean to send? Yeah. Or have you ever sent a text or an email about someone to them rather than to the person you were complaining to them about? I have. Yeah. I think there should be like a 15-second delay on any text or email so you can go, oops, and get it back. Because, that should be a required key on every keyboard, don't you think? I do. Mindful communication doesn't require us to shy away from important interpersonal communications that we need to make. Our honesty and our authenticity depend on our ability to say to someone, is that what you meant? Is that what's going on here? Because we are so much in our own heads, and we do have our reactions, and we do see what we see from. If you're looking for insults, you're going to see insults, right? If you're looking for kindness, you're going to see kindness. But for us to stay mindful in that moment, It doesn't require us to shy away from things that are important. However, I invite us all to examine how we say what we have to say so that we can do it in love and kindness, so that we don't need the oops button. And we don't need that oops button just in life either. But it's true, we have the power to cause both great good and great harm with our words. Because our words are powerful, and the way that we use them is powerful. And I know that we're sometimes afraid of our own voice. A lot of people don't want to speak up when they see, that whole idea of speaking truth to power. A lot of people are afraid of repercussions. And look, we see that even in what's going on in our country today. There's a lot of political blah, 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 blah going on about people who are telling or not telling the truth about certain things. And I don't want to get into politics, but I will say this. Audre Lorde, she's a writer who describes herself as a black, lesbian, mother, warrior, poet. She's an African-American writer, feminist, womanist, librarian, civil rights activist. She says, I have come to believe over and over again that what's most important to me must be spoken. It must be made verbal and shared, even at the risk of having it bruised or misunderstood. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Because when you tell the truth, even though there's a possibility that your words can be bruised, your feelings can be bruised, or you could be misunderstood, because no communication is a final communication, unless you've just taken your last breath and the words were, goodbye. No communication is your last communication. You can always revisit a communication that you've had with someone else and find out what you meant, what they meant. So I love what she said. What's important to me must be spoken and made verbal and shared, even at the risk of having it bruised or misunderstood. So mindful communication allows us to speak our truth bravely. And I personally encourage us all to always say what we need to say and to do it kindly and lovingly. Back to the Buddha here. The Buddha, the first two steps are very crucial. Right view, having an understanding, and right intention. If your intention is to do no harm and your intention is to love only, then even though it's humanly possible for us to make mistakes, as long as we have the right view of the world. And for me, our right view of the world is very simple. God is all there is. And we live in a universe where what we think and what we believe has a direct influence on what we experience, and that God is love. As Emerson said, and I love to quote, love is our highest word. It's a synonym for God. To me, that's the right view. And our right intention is to be kind and to be loving. Then even if we are mistaken in our speech, our intention and our heart can shine through. The Buddha is telling us that the consciousness from which our words come is very important, our right view and our right intentions, right? Best-selling author Barry Neal Kaufman, he says, and we talked about this a minute ago, the way that we choose to see the world creates the world that we see. As I said, if you expect to see kindness and be kind, you'll see kindness. If you expect insults and slights, you'll see insults and slights, right? Even where they don't exist. He teaches he and his wife, who I cropped out of the picture there because it was really his quote, they have a place in Colorado where they teach workshops about mindful communication. And it's true. The way that we see the world, the way that we interpret the world, the mindset that we nurture and practice will and does inform the way that we use the power of our words. And let me say that again, and make no mistake, each and every one of us has the power of the word, right?
I really do believe in the power of words. I think that it's the most incredible thing.
That's Alicia Keys, by the way.
When I first met my writing partner, I had a certain attitude. I would always be like, well, my luck. Well, probably with my luck, we're never gonna, and, so Crucial, that's his name, he said to me, why do you say that? And I was like, what? It was funny to me. I didn't see the problem. And he was like, why do you say those things? you'll never, you know my luck, or how it goes for me. Like, why do you say that? You know that's how it's gonna be if that's how you say it's gonna be. And that was so big for me because I never thought about that before. I never thought that the things I was saying just nonchalantly as a joke were actually creating what was gonna happen for me in my life. And when I thought about it and when I actually internalized it, I realized, wow, dang, I say if a lot, or I say probably won't a lot. I don't want to say those anymore. So I decided to take, like, I don't even use the word if. Anybody around me uses the word if, I'm always saying, you mean when? You mean when? So I don't even believe in the word if. Like, I don't think it should exist, that word. And I really appreciate having been exposed to that concept that, you know, the words that we speak, the things that we say in our life, the things that I say in my life every day is really, you're like building your road with those words.
I think she's so magnificently beautiful, and I'm not just talking about her face. I'm talking about the authenticity of what's behind her eyes when she communicates. And you hear it in her songs and her playing too. She really is teachable. Someone says something to her and she goes, wow, you're right, she's teachable. That's a great quality for all of us because we are the co-creators that live and speak life into this world, co-creating with Spirit, cooperating. So I love to take these words apart. Co-creating is one that's really, but cooperating really means co-operating. Cooperating. I like to cooperate with people, but when we cooperate with God, we're actually co-operating this universal experience with Spirit. We're each of us thinking into the universal mind. Well, we think into the universal mind, which is Spirit, and Spirit reacts to it. Our thoughts and our words have impact and meaning and power. We're the creative agents through which our words, along with Spirit's power, put meaning and belief into the world through our prayers. Dr. Holmes writes, God is intelligent, mind, and spirit, and there is a direct response from this universal intelligence to our intelligence. If we ask for bread, we shall not receive a stone. We are told that we must ask believing if we are to receive. Here again, we are meeting the law of cause and effect, because prayer is a mental as well as spiritual function of intelligence. It's a conscious act of the mind, a concrete experience of the knowing faculty. Prayer should be direct and specific and should always be accompanied by a positive receptivity. God cannot answer prayers which have no meaning. Whoa. God cannot answer prayers which have no meaning because our word has power. If you don't even know what you want, how can the universe answer that for you? It's the meaning, it's the conviction, it's the mindfulness that is the root, or the nexus, if you like that word, from which our words come to life. You got to know what you mean, and you got to water that meaning with your emotions, your belief, your receptivity, as he says. We have to all listen mindfully to ourselves and to others. I love that graphic. The heart with the ear and the heart.
Yeah.
Where do I find them? We can do this. This is not beyond any of us. This mindfulness occurs when we can slow down. And I'm guilty of not being a slow down kind of guy. I'm a do it fast kind of guy, you know. But we have to breathe in and we have to breathe out receptivity. We have to be receptive to the metaphysical nature of the universe. And when we can speak from a place of love and speak a word of love and a word of kindness into being, you know, our mindfulness in general and our mindful communication gives us greater access to building a world that works for everyone. So this whole idea, this month of Mindful Mavericks, you know, this really is about not giving into the collective consciousness, which is unconscious. It's about us individually recognizing that for each of us, God in us as us is us, but more importantly, God in you and you and you as you is you. Each of us individually has the power to change this paradigm. And as I said earlier when talking about racism, you may not feel personally responsible for creating the paradigm we're in, but we can each be on the team and cooperate and be responsible for changing this paradigm. I have a backronym for us this week, and the backronym is communication. I know it's a big one. I courageously open myself to manifesting. The universe nurtures infinite creation as my thoughts, ideas, and opportunities now. That one took me 4 hours to come up with. I looked through the Science of Mind textbook and the magazine, and I'm looking for ideas. Okay, communication. I courageously open myself to manifesting. The universe nurtures infinite creation as my thoughts, ideas, and opportunities now. And for each of us to cooperate mindfully and lovingly with the universe, it's about our receptivity. So, our affirmation again, thank you, Marina, for being practitioner today. My word expresses love, oneness, and peace for myself and all living things. And of course, our vision for this year has not been interrupted by Mr. Coronavirus. So our 2020 vision for this year is one life in focus. I have to actually go to Costco and get my glasses adjusted because their vision department has been open only for contact lenses for like 3 months. And so I'm a little fuzzy. So I have to go to Costco and get my glasses adjusted. And of course, Dr. Holmes reminds us that our experience here, perfect God, perfect human, and perfect being. So why don't you, isn't that a beautiful picture? Lori took that picture. In fact, Lori took that picture too. Yeah, Lori's a good photographer. And I want to remind you before let's go back. Let's just concretize this with some prayer. I'm not going to go over to that microphone because Marina went to that microphone. So he wiped it. Here's what I know. Join me in this moment of knowing and understanding that right where each of us is, there's only one thing, and that is God. I love what Dr. Ken always says, which is, I believe in God and absolutely nothing else. And I recognize that there are times during the day when I may mistakenly believe in something else, but by reminding myself what Dr. Ken says, I put myself back on track. I believe in God and absolutely nothing else. And so in this moment, I remind myself and I remind anyone who's listening that there's only one thing going on, and that is the life of Spirit living itself through and as me. There's one life. That life is God. That life is spiritual perfection, back of everything. And that life is my life now and the life of each of us here at the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living, our community, our friends. I'm so grateful for the opportunity for us to begin the process of getting back together and celebrating our spiritual family in person with each other safely, mindfully, using our mindful communication, our mindful speech, to express the love that we have for each other. It's been quite a while that we've been isolated, and it feels so good for those of us who are here to be here, but we miss all of those of you who are not here today. Looking forward to seeing you. I simply know that all is well in the life of this spiritual community, and I express my belief out into this world through the metaphysical nature of the universe, lovingly and impersonally. Serving my word and my consciousness, I know that all is well, that life is good, and that we are good in it. And knowing that this is the truth of who we are, I bless us all and release this word, and together we affirm this blessing by saying, and so it is, and so it is, yes. So I want to remind you that all of the avenues for contributing to the center, we are open to receive. We are open for spiritual business, and we are open to receive in all of the avenues. It actually took the coronavirus pandemic for me to set up an automatic payment from my Bank of America right to HDCSL, so I don't have to write a check, so I don't have to remember. I know I get paid on the last Friday of the month, and so it automatically on the first Monday of the month will send a payment. in. So I want to remind you that you can continue to use the Give Plus mobile app. You can also, yes, and this is, look at this is a video. It's going to scroll down. Yes, this is the video I've been using. You can see the donate button down the bottom here. You can donate right from our website. And of course, you can mail your contribution to the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living, 18575 Corwin Road, Apple Valley, California, 92307. You can also come by and drop it off. We are going to be starting to have office hours soon. We don't have regular office hours yet. Brandy's giving me this. Starting tomorrow, we're going to have regular office hours. Okay, so check with us on what our office hours are. If you would like to come by and drop off a tithe, remember, everybody who comes to our center must wear a mask. The only reason I'm not wearing a mask is because I can't do my job with the mask on while I'm here on the pulpit, but I will not interact with anybody without putting my mask back on. And Chris and I are spending, 30, 40 feet apart here. So let's go ahead and say our affirmative giving statement. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And of course, Fred, I'm taking over Fred's job here because I've got the remote. I'm going to put the remote control down, Fred. So it's a habit. I've been doing it for 3 months. I bless this gift in faith, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, is what I say every time I have a transaction. So, but let's go ahead and sing Spirit's Gift. 1, 2, 3, and... It's so nice to be with you guys today and to be able to sing. Oh, look, people are actually getting up and putting their tithe into. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Spirit's gift is mine to give. I give it now. And I know that I receive all I allow. Every moment blesses me. God's supply is all I need. Perfectly when I believe. Oh, I believe. And oh, I receive. Oh, I believe. And Spirit's gift is mine to give. I give it now. Spirit's gift is mine to give, I give it now. Oh, I'm letting my abundance grow. Oh, it comes from every seed I sow. Oh, I'm grateful for the overflow. Spirit's gift is mine to give, I give it now. Yes, Spirit's gift is mine to give, I give it now. So, right after service, there is going to be a Zoom. Ellie is on the computer, and she will log into the Zoom right after service. I did also send out a text. Let me check that it did go out. Yes, it did. It did go out, and the link is on there. And so the meeting ID is 827-3857-6213. The password is Holmes. Seemed appropriate, or you can call in at 669-900-6833. All of that information went out in a text about 5 minutes ago. And the meeting will be live as soon as we finish singing God Makes Me Want to Sing. And Ellie ends this broadcast and starts that one. So, the practitioners and I are just going to... We're not going to get together, but I'm going to do our closing and do our New Thought benediction. So I invite us all right where we're at to just plant ourselves. First of all, I want to thank members of the board. Our board president, Julie, is here. Our treasurer, Dawn, is here. And Frank is here, board member at large. Our practitioners, Frank and Judy and Lori and Marina and Clay are here. Our educator, Deborah, is here. Our office manager, Brandy, is here, and her son, Vincent, is here. Ellie is running the computer. Fred is running sound in the booth. And of course, Marina is on camera. Chris, thank you for coming out today. Next week, David will be here with me. And, and thank me. Yes, you're welcome. It's so lovely to be here, and also sad that we're not all here today, but 2 more weeks, and then we'll be open for those who are in a non-risk group. And I know some people have said to me, I'll be there. And I said, but you're 80 years old or 75 years old. We can't be the COVID-19 police for people. If people are wanting to be here, as long as everybody's washing their hands or wearing gloves and wearing their mask and not touching each other, we understand what it means to be practical and safe, and we're doing our best. Dr. Raymond Anderson texted me, "What's it like to be open?" I'm going to have to text him back and say, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's different, but it's wonderful. All right. Everybody take a breath with me. All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is. All is well. All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is. Here's what I know. I know that the infinite indwelling Spirit blesses you and protects you. I know that Spirit expresses itself as love and kindness through you and as you. And I know that Spirit shines its light upon you, its face of love and kindness, and is your peace. I know that all is well, and so it is. All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is. Life is good, and so one more time it is. Life is good, and so it is. Nice, Chris. All right, well, wherever you're at, let's do a little bit of God Makes Me Want to Sing. Have a great week, everybody. We'll go into Zoom in just a minute. I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. Makes me feel so good. I can do anything. One more time. I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. Makes me feel so good. I can do anything. Sing that last line. Makes me feel so good. Makes me feel so good. I can do anything. It's the breakdown. Here we go. Makes me feel so good. I can do anything.